Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my show Future Friday. In today's episode we're going to take a look at flexible solar panels. So let's dive right into it. Now first you have to understand why the heck we want to bother with this. Well, I am here to say that Earth is not flat, so we need to handle the curvature. And on top of that, as you can see, like a normal flat panel takes a lot of mounting hardware just to put it flat. So we want something flexible that adjusts to our needs rather than we having to build a fancy structure just so we can mount the panel. We can directly mount it. That's why we want flexibility. Now this also comes with another benefit that it will unlock solar. Right now people can't use solar everywhere simply because the current solar panels are very heavy. These panels are very lightweight. On top of that, this can also allow portable electronics to run off solar. Now that technology is not there yet, but it can happen. As you can see, this is a USB based power battery bank and it has flexible panel. There are some solar backpack that also have flexible panel. Be mindful, there are also panels that are semi-flexible, which simply means they have solar cells, but the bridge basically where they are connecting two cells, that part is flexible. So cell itself is not flexible. This cell is flexible, but the panel is also flexible. There can be a way where you can have cell that is rigid but panel that is flexible, because it will fold wherever the cell ends. So do not mix those two. Now this will also have an interesting basically benefit for everyone involved, is that this will allow easy adoption. Let's say you have a fancy home and your roof is not very straight or flat, which almost every roof is kind of unique. So in those sort of scenario, this will be really helpful. And it can be everywhere, like on top of a RV, on top of a sailboat, on top of a school. It could be everywhere because of its flexibility. So okay, this exists. So what about cost? Everything comes to now this, at the best case scenario, would be 3 times more expensive. At worst case, it would be 10 times more expensive. So you have to understand, this is not a easy investment, not for faint of hearts. And because of this ludicrously high cost, it's kind of limited in terms of a very small market share. Basically people who have yachts, they generally do this. It is ludicrously expensive. Okay, let's say it's expensive. What about reality? Like what actually happens once you buy it? You have to understand this, it's very inefficient. Even though you are getting a flexible solar panel, even though you could mount it in such a way that it's facing the sun all the time, these panels are inherently inefficient because they can barely go give you like 3 to 15% efficiency. For a context, understand this, normal silicon panels that we are using, the normal one, they are generally capable of giving 22 to 28% efficiency. So you can understand this is very inefficient. On top of that, this in terms of output, like raw strength, ampere it can give out, that's also very weak. So efficiency is also low, but if you given the surface area, the output is of course weaker. On top of that, these sort of panel have been tested. We have been using them for almost 50 years. So at this point in time, you can go to a company and buy this, and the company might be old enough to actually say and give you a bit of confidence that yeah, we have been around for 50 years, so we can give you a warranty for let's say 20 years. But on these puppies, the warranty is barely 10 years, and most will give you warranty of 1 to 2 years. So that should give you an idea, 25 years versus 2 years. So understand this, in reality these panels suck. In reality these panels are ludicrously inefficient, ludicrously fragile, and even though they are flexible, you would think like they will actually flex more, but no, if you flex them beyond their certain limit, they will crack because these cells are still silicon cell. So do we have any future in this? Short answer, yes, absolutely, because we have a lot of potential. Now I already specified, because those flexible, quote unquote flexible cells, they crack simply because they are still using silicon. However, in recent time, China and other countries have invested a lot of money in basically solar technology, and we have reached gallium solar panel technology. Now gallium, on the other hand, that's completely different. That is flexible inherently. So basically you can make a gallium solar cell which is flexible inherently. Basically on a cell level it can be bent. Now of course you're not supposed to do this 24/7. There have been other attempts where people have tried using inks You must have heard of like print your solar panels or things of that nature. Problem with that was ludicrously inefficient. This, on the other hand, gallium solar panels, they are more efficient even though they are flexible. So this is why I am hopeful about flexible technology. Now gallium solar panels, as you can see, something like this, they are inherently flexible. They give off more energy. Basically they can reach as high as 30% efficiency compared to maximum of 25 or 28. So that, you may think like that's only few percent advantage. That's a lot. And on top of that, they can handle higher temperature much more easily, and they degrade very slowly, so their warranty can easily go up to 50 years. And they have been used in satellite industry for a very long time. That's why you see this sort of color in all satellites. So, and China has also already started to make, because gallium is very expensive compared to silicon. Gallium is like gold. It's that price, that huge of a price difference exists. So China has also started to make copper, gallium alloy. Other things have been also created to make sure the price of gallium goes down, because right now this is the best technology we have. It's flexible, it gives a lot of power, it lasts longer, but it also costs arm and leg, and nobody can afford it other than satellites. So, but in recent years, a lot of advancement has occurred which allows this to be alloyed with a cheaper material like copper or nickel. In that sort of scenario, we end up with a scenario where you have a solar panel which is flexible, gives off more power than conventional one, basically silicon one, blue color one, and will last longer, which is also awesome, and have better thermal response. Because if you have checked my last video on solar rooftop, you must understand this. Solar panels are rated at 25 degrees Celsius. This is also rated at 25 degrees Celsius. However, when you heat this puppy up, let's say to 60 degrees Celsius, when it's like baking in the sun, this will give off more power in relation to its total capacity. Let's say it can easily give off 75% of its total power, where basically silicon based will drop down to as low as 50%. So this is pretty amazing. However, expensive as of now. So there is a lot of room. We can easily expect to see a lot of this sort of rolling solar panels. And they have other advantages also, simply because you have to understand, when we are talking about solar panels, you also have to account for the cost. That is it flexible installation, is it fixed, is it like, can you just go up to their home and like tada, your solar panel is done? All those things add up to the cost. So even if let's say this itself ends up being more expensive, overall the cost will go down. And not to mention, because if you did this on a grid scale, let's say you built an entire solar farm where you have megawatts of power coming out of, 1% efficiency on each cell will translate to a very significant savings. Longer lifespan will mean that your return on investment will be much more profitable. So there is a lot of room into this. So this was my presentation on flexible solar technology. I hope you liked it or learned from it. In that case, please leave a like, click ads that are shown in my video. That will directly help me. And if you didn't like it, don't worry about it. You can dislike it. I would urge you to press that dislike button twice. And please comment, because I reply to all of them. And as always, subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.